Hello everybody, Loader for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video, and today we got to talk about the new Sherry LeBlanc cards. So, not only did we get the stuff coming out in the next Duels pack thing, but we also got the stuff coming out in what they're calling Animation Chronicle. This is the first I've heard of this set, but apparently it's going to have a lot of new anime stuff in here, well, or at least manga stuff. And, I mean, we did get some actual stuff announced for it as well. I'm not going to cover that in this video. And we also got, of course, Sherry stuff that has not been printed yet in here. And on top of that, they got the standard Starving Venom Dragon from the manga. We only ever got his advanced form released, which is, funny enough, very, very garbage. Hopefully this thing will actually be good in Predaplants, and maybe we'll get some other good Predaplant support. I have no idea what this thing is. I'm just going to be honest, I have no idea what this thing is. But yeah, this reminds me of a lot of the, what are they called, premium packs in Japan, where they tend to release a lot of anime cards. Oh, Dragon Maid, okay. Not Dragon Maid, Dragonroid. I have no idea what that deck is from, but hey, that's cool. And then the standard Starving Venomy, which is going to be cool because Starving Venomy Poison Dragon, or Starving Venomy Lethal Dose Dragon is garbage. So hopefully regular Starving Venomy is going to be better. Even though Venomy Lethal Dose is supposed to be a better version of Starving Venomy, but I digress. So they did announce, however, the two groups of Sherry's cards. Now, for those who don't know, Sherry is a character from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I really don't know much about the character because I never got around to watching it far into 5Ds. I think I've seen up to the end of the Earthbound Immortal arc. But Sherry is a character that a lot of people really like, and she focuses on synchro summoning as well. She has a Synchron, which is interesting. But, however, on top of that, you got your own level 8 Synchro monster, which is pretty decent. Once during each of your turn, when your opponent activates a spell trap card, you can negate activation to store that card. So it can only negate stuff during your turn, which is a bit annoying. But, however, it is pretty nice for what it does. Let's see here. How do you spell flare? I'm just going to search that. And the rest of her stuff is Flare Synchron, which is just kind of okay. It's got a special summoning effect. Sorcerer de Fleur, which is an okay card for its time, but it's not particularly great nowadays. It basically can summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard. I don't really get how it really partakes in the rest of the stuff. And then a long time ago, we got her Noble Knight Joan release just out of nowhere for some reason. It doesn't do anything for Noble Knights. And other than being based off of Joan d'Arc, I have no idea why they would call her a Noble Knight card. I don't even think she was called Noble Knight in the anime. But I already decided to adapt that into that whenever she did come out. And they're going to continue that with Noble Knight's Shield Bearer over here, which is a level 4 Light Warrior effect monster, 800 attack, 1300 defense. You can only use either the first or second effect card of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can banish one light monster from your graveyard, draw one card. That is really, really nice. I mean, just, oh hey, normal summon, banish, draw. Nice. You can banish this card from your hand or face up field, and add one level 6 or lower Wind Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So you can either get a free draw, or you get a search, which is really, really, really nice, and is infinitely better than what we already had to work with for her archetype, because Noble Knight Joan, again, is garbage, and the Flare stuff is very outdated. So hopefully, between getting the rest of her original anime stuff printed and these new stuff, this is going to be a huge boost to the strategy. So, who knows, though? I mean, right off the bat, this thing is pretty decent, and I can see it being played in some random strategies out there. But then you get Noble Knight Joan, and this thing's just not particularly great. I don't know. I should probably cover it just so you guys know what this card does. I think it came out in the Zexal era finally. For some reason, I remember it coming out in Cosmo Blazer, but I don't think that's right. 1900, level 4, 1300 attack, archetype, Noble Knight, yada yada. Discard attacks, it loses 300 It loses 300 attack when it attacks. If this card in your possession is stripped by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard and target a level 4 or lower warrior type monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. Very bad recursion. So this deck has a lot to make up for. Next up, we got Horse of the Floral Knights, level 3, Wind Beast effect monster, level 3, 400 attack, 800 defense. You can use this card's first effect once per turn. If this card is normal or spell summon, you can add one light noble knight monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so we got Agent. Okay, so that's not gonna help just noble knights in general out, but hey, that's cool. We can literally search out every single noble knight except for the fire dudes on summon. I like that. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your ice deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material using this card. So this is really interesting. This deck is a fusion archetype. We do, of course, have their fusion down here, Centaur Mina, who we will cover here in a minute. Compared to what was going on at the time, it still baffles me that they introduced a character with a fusion. Granted, of course, you can use this with Fleur Synchron to go into Stifler to Fleur right away. So that's pretty cool as well. Overall, pretty decent card. Obviously, you're going to want to play these Noble Knights because it's a totally different archetype, but I like it. Next up, we got Noble Knight Spearholder. Again, it's a Noble Knight, but not really a Noble Knight. I think, are all these female? I just noticed that. No, that's a... It's hard to tell. The build totally screams male, but like the eyes, I don't know why. And then same here, like I don't know, like well, the hair definitely. I don't know. I guess a guy's gonna have long hair like that. What am I saying? I just know that Konami tends to like to give anime characters like I don't know. Anyway, so Noble Knight Spearholder, level 2, light warrior effect monster. 800 attack, 400 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one level 8 or lower monster you control. Till the end phase of this turn, its name becomes Fleur Synchron. Also is treated as a tuner. That is interesting. I sincerely doubt that card had that effect in the manga, or sorry, not manga, anime. I'm going to search what this thing does. Noble Knight. Oh, why did I just... Alternate formats. There's the anime. I just want to see. Oh, there we go. Anime. Oh, okay. Not who I thought. Oh, maybe it's Fleur. No. Huh. What was this thing called in the anime? It's a level 2 light warrior. Because they did change the names, which is interesting to say the least. Let's see here. I'm really curious. Level 2. Oh, we never got a Goki? Huh, okay. Triangle Warrior. Oh. Maybe it's not an effect monster? No? Okay, so this thing's totally original as far as I can tell. What the heck? So, Noble Knight Spearholder, yada yada. Pretty good card. I like it. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it is going to be... Oh, I forgot to even read the last bit. You contribute this card, add one equipped spell from your deck to your hand. So that's kind of interesting. Does this deck have equipped spells? It does have one, which is a pretty important card. Ygopro the Zone. This card, I know a lot of people wanted printed for a long time. I don't know much about 5D's story after the Dark Signer arc, but I do know this card was pretty important to Sherry and stuff. Unless I'm totally getting it mixed up with another card. But this thing, I know people have been wanting for a very long time. So let's go ahead and first talk about Centaur Mina over here, which, God, I love this artwork. She just looks really cool. Like, God, look at this, like, pretty spiral thing going on, and cool design, cool artwork. Level 6 Light Beast Warrior Fusion Effect Monster. 2200 attack, 1600 defense. 1 Light Warrior Monster, plus 1 Beast Monster. So you could use this as a super poly target, theoretically, in certain formats, if that ever comes up. During your main phase, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once each turn. During your main phase, you can special summon one level 2 or lower monster from your hand or graveyard. So right off the bat, okay, like take for instance, okay, normal summon Horse of Floral Knights, add Noble Knight's Spearholder to hand, effect of Horse of Floral Knights, to fusion summon using it and Spearholder, to make Centaur Mina. Centaur Mina effect, special summon Noble Knight Spearholder from graveyard, effect of Spearholder to target itself, make it into Fleur Synchron, and then Synchro for Chevalier de Fleur. Or the new one, who we're going to talk about here shortly, which I think is that's a level 10. Okay, so you're going to have a harder time making her, and she also doesn't require Fleur Synchron. I have not read any of these cards previously, by the way. So this card's interesting right off the bat. I do think this is a very good card for just that alone, being able to make any... Because you don't have to go for Chevalier de Fleur. That's just the intended route. You can go for any level 8 Synchro, which there's a lot better out there. So very interesting right off the bat with that. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a trap card during your turn, quick effect, you can negate deactivation, and if you do, set that card. Okay, so it's got okay trap negation. It doesn't do anything else, though. If it negated like spells and traps, but I guess that's the whole point of making her into Fleur. But I digress. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Wind Warrior monster, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. So, obviously, again, Chevalier de Fleur is the intended target. But, however, I wonder how many Wind Warrior synchros are there. Like, there can't be many, is there? Wind. Like, now there's literally just Chevalier de Fleur. So, you only get the pop if you make her with that. Unless you happen to have, like, a level 4, well, level 1 tuner. You could make Stardust Assault Warrior or Charge Warrior, who's actually pretty good. Okay, so like that'd actually be pretty decent. Okay, so does it have to be level 2? No, they can be level 1. So you could summon a level 1 tuner from your graveyard, then synchro with that into Charge Warrior. Charge Warrior nets you a draw, and then Mina will destroy a card. That's not horrible. And then, oh hey, if your opponent tries to, like, I don't know, bottomless this, not that that's been relevant in years, you could negate it, so there's that. Okay, so this card's not horrible, but it's definitely showing that it's an older card. I do like it overall, though, to say the least. Moving on, we got a Cold Zone, which has really freaky, trippy artwork, but I like it. It feels like you're in a Van Gogh painting. Oh wait, no, it's not Van Gogh. Who's the guy who did like all the stairs, that painting? I don't remember. This is a... Oh, it's a field... Why did I think it's an equip spell? They don't have an equip spell, at least in this group. Do they have an equip spell over here? Okay, there is an equip spell. There is an equip spell. Awesome. Okay. So there is a equip spell that you can use in this deck. Cool. We'll have to see how good it is later. So Cold Zone is actually a field spell. Why did I think it was an equip spell? I'm sorry, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's after 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired. Anyway, so Cold Zone, field spell card. You can only use this card's first effect once per turn. If the turn player special summons exactly one monster, destroy that monster. And if you do, special summon one mask token. Spellcaster Dark, level 1, attack is question mark, defense question mark to destroyed monster's controller's field. Its attack and defense become the attack and defense the destroyed monster had on the field, but it cannot attack directly. If this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all mask tokens on the field. So this is a really interesting floodgate card. Anytime a player, well, on their turn, summons a monster, it gets destroyed and is replaced with a token with the same stat values, but that token cannot attack. And then if this field spell is destroyed, all of those tokens are destroyed. That is very interesting. It's not once per turn. Oh, wait, no, it is. It is. Why was that? This would be so much better if it was not once per turn. Think about that. That would be arguably busted. But honestly, with it not being once per turn, I don't see this being particularly useful. This is an interesting card in that it can very much disrupt the first summon of your opponent. But, however, they can just make that token into a Link monster. It's a level 1 token, so they can literally just make it into a Link Rebo. Like, if this card ever did become popular as just a, a trolling floodgate to stop your opponent's first summon, everybody would start playing Link Rebo, and then they'd just be able to just go off from there. I don't see this being a particularly great card. If it wasn't once per turn, it'd be a interesting card to try and build a deck around, especially if you can protect it, because, oh, hey, anytime your opponent summons a monster, it gets destroyed, and then they get a token instead. And then, like, oh, hey, end phase or battle phase, flip over MST or double Cyclone or something. I'm suggesting double Cyclone because you'd get more value out of it. To destroy this card, and if you're doing double Cyclone, discard plus one other spell or trap card your opponent controls, and then, oh, hey, you get to destroy all those tokens. That would be very, very mean, and I guess that's why Konami balanced it like so, but I feel like with its effect, it's not going to be particularly great. Then we got Soulbinding Gate, another field spell. You can only... Well, okay, so activate this card if you control no monsters, and a set spell trap card you control is destroyed by card effect this turn. During the main phase, if exactly one monster spell summoned whose attack is lower than your life points, and Z1 or zone is in your graveyard, destroy that monster, and if you do, take 800 damage, then inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So this card is not once per turn. So, during the main phase, if exactly one monster is summoned, whose attack is lower than your life points, and Z1 is in your graveyard, destroy that monster, and you take 800, then do 800 to your opponent. So, the general idea is to try and, like, burn your opponent to death, but since your life points have to be lower than your opponent's, this is interesting. Now, Z1 is a card that was very important for the arc after the... oh god, what was it? It was important for the arc after the Earthbound Immortal arc. When this set card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, select one continuous spell or field spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I feel like this thing had a better effect in the anime. I'm calling it now. What did it do in the anime? Anime, alternate formats. Oh, okay. Here we go. Z1. Here's the anime version of Z1. When a set card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can choose one spell or trap card from your hand, deck, or graveyard and banish it. Then activate this card on field with the same name and effects as the banished card. If this card is activated this way, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Oh my god, that is stupid. Okay, why... I can see why Konami didn't print that like that. Huh. Okay, and he used Time Lords. Okay, so this is in a Time Lord. What would you use this in Time Lords for? There's no field spell for Time Lords or continuous spell. I guess with this you'd just get the Infinity Traps right away, but I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. Yeah, I'm very mixed on this card. It's clear that this is just, oh hey, here's your stuff from the anime that you guys have been begging for forever. These first 4 cards I feel like have potential, especially depending on what the new stuff does. But Ygopro Zone and Soulbinding Gate I'm not very impressed with. Ygopro Zone I want like a playmat of. This just reminds me of a chaotic artwork. No. Oh god. Okay, let's look at the new stuff that is, well, in the Duels of the Gale set, which is all about giving new support to wind sets. And the very first card we got is a Dark Monster. These are supposed to be wind cards. This is a Dark Monster. Obviously, this is supposed to be like a corrupted version of the original Fleur, Sorcerer de Fleur. This is Sage de Fleur. Level 8 Dark Spellcaster Effect Monster, 29 attack, 0 defense. Literally the same stats as the original Sorcerer de Fleur, but it's a dark instead of a wind. You can only use this card's names first and second effects once per turn each. You can target one monster you control and one other card on the field. Spell summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy those targets. Ooh boy, that is... I like that. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one other monster in your graveyard, shuffle it in a deck, then add one level 1 plant monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I like this card a lot. Like, just right off the bat, oh hey, pop, special summon this. It doesn't really... I guess the easiest thing would be then to normal summon out Noble Knight Spearholder, make it Fleur Synchron, and then, well, or just use Fleur Synchron, and then sync this with that to make Baroness de Fleur, which is the new one here, which we're going to get to here in a minute. I've not read any of these cards, so I'm just going to going through what wow, these are literally all just evil versions or I guess, a more majestic version in this horse's case of the original cards. That is interesting. So overall, this card right here is very good, I'm going to say, just off the bat. I do really like it. I don't know what level 1 plant you're going to be searching, because this deck has level 2 plants, not level 1. But that is nice. Nice. Next up, we got White Steed of the Floral Knights. Level 6 Beast Effect Monster. Attack 2400, Defense 1800. Why did they repeat it twice? You can only special summon this card with the way. Sorry, you can only special summon with the way in this card's first effect once per turn. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. If you control a level 2 or lower monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. So that is a literal free Fleur to Synchron right there. I like it. Okay, this is literally giving you ways to make your level 8 or your level 10 here very easily. I like it. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one card you control, negate the attack, and if you do... Oh, okay. So that's the whole point. They want you to destroy Zone. So with this, you can target your monster and Zone, spell summon it, destroy both, get Zone's effect. And then with this guy, oh hey, you target Zone, negate the attack, and destroy Zone and get its effect. I like it. I like the idea. They're clearly trying to play into that gimmick, but unless we get some better versions of like Zone or something over here. Oh, so Necro Fleur was in this deck. I wasn't sure about that. I really wasn't. So Necro Fleur, I don't even know if it's a particularly great card. Let's see here. This card is... Oh, why did I not think that it wasn't? It literally has Sorcerer to Fleur in the text. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon a Sorcerer to Fleur from your deck. So that's another option other than just Zone to destroy. You can destroy that and then spell summon a dude, well, the Sorcerer from your deck. And Sorcerer... It literally just spell summons a monster to your side of the field and doesn't do much. That monster can't attack, and it's during the end phase. Now, granted, you can use that for anything you want, like linking and synchroing and stuff. So I like that. Next up, we got Necro Synchron, level 2 Dark Machine. Excuse me? Oh, there's computer chips behind it. I'm like, what is this thing a machine for? There's a... Wait, this thing's a machine as well? I thought it was a plant. Oh, weirdness. Okay, it's a machine. You can only use this card's second and third effect once per turn each. This card's name becomes first Synchron while in the field or in the graveyard. Cool. You can target one of their face-up monster you control, increase its level by 2 until the end phase. Hey! Do that with YgoAmino, and bang, you got the big boss. This card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a wind monster, like here. You can spell from one level 1 plant monster from your deck. Then obviously they want you to summon out Necro Fleur, and then hopefully pop it with like a card effect, like for instance Godot's Sage de Fleur, and then spell summon Sorcerer de Fleur, and then get some more free special summons. Interesting card overall. This deck is shaping out to be pretty interesting and have some very intriguing interactions. I don't think so far it's going to be particularly great, but I think this is definitely going to be a fun deck for people who really want to play sherry stuff. Like, finally. Okay, let's look at the big boss. Baroness de Fleur, which is literally just Stifler de Fleur riding the new White Steed card, which it's intimidating and cool, and I like it. It's pretty card art. Okay, so level 10 Warrior Synchro Effect Monster, 3k attack, 2400 defense, 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. First effect, literally just once per turn you can pop a card on the field. Okay, once per turn you can target one card on the field, destroy it. I like that. I wish it was a quick effect, but hey, free once per turn pop, I'm going to take it. Second effect, once while face up on the field, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Why is it only once while it's on the field? Why is it not once per turn? Okay? And that's my biggest issue. Why is this not once per turn? This should be once per turn. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There are cards that do literally this, and it's once per turn. Why is this not once per turn? Especially when this card is technically going to be harder to summon than some of those other stuff. I mean, think about it. To summon this card, your best way to go about it, or at least how Konami is intending you to go about it, is to normal summon Horse of the Floral Knights. Effect, search out Spearholder. Effect of Horse, to fusion summon using it and Spearholder to... well, yeah, actually, hang on, wait. So, it'd be either Horse... I feel like you're... okay, so I'm kind of doubting what I was just saying. Hang on. God dang it. I mean, the best way to go about it would be to, like... I mean, even then, it would still be... The best way to go about it, at least how they're probably intending you to do it, would be Horse of Floral Knights to fusion summon into YgoAmino, who would then special summon Necro Synchron from either your hand or graveyard for whatever reason if it's in there somewhere, and then Necro Synchron, effect to increase Mina's level by 2, and then Synchro into this for 10. Why is this not once per turn? Not one. Well, God. Third effect, once per turn during the standby phase, you can target one level 9 or lower monster in your graveyard. Return this card to the X deck, and if you do, special summon that monster. What are they trying to do with this? I really... Okay, so your turn, you Synchro summon this, you pop a card. Your opponent's turn, you negate something. Swings back to your turn. I mean, ideally, you would bounce it back to your extra deck and then summon the original, and then normal summon out like Spearholder or something to Synchro summon this card again, and then kind of form a loop where you get to recycle it and redo it. But at that point, I don't know, I feel like it's just too much extra work. Too many spots where it can get negated. God, I don't know how to feel about this card. Really cool artwork, and I like the first effect. I really want to like the second effect, but the third effect I'm not understanding at this moment. I don't know what Konami is trying to do with this. Next up, let's look at the equip spell. Fleur de Fleur. I'm trying to kind of go off of what little French I know here. As to how this is probably pronounced. The equip spell, you can only activate one card of this card's name per turn. You can only use its third effect once per turn. Okay, so this thing has 3 effects. Activate this card by targeting one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard. Spell shall summon it, but its effects are negated, and if you do, equip it with this card. If this card leaves the field, destroy a monster. The equipped monster gains 700 attack. What? Okay. 700 attack boost for no reason. Okay, good on you, Konami. 700 attack for a level 2 monster. I'm sure that's going to be wonderful, making your Necro Synchron into 900 attack power. I can tell what the third effect says. I know it's intended for equipping onto the big boss, but still. If this card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, you can equip this card to a Synchro monster you control. So, obviously it's intended for Synchro combos, so you can make like good old Stifler or something like that, and equip this onto it, give them attack buffs. And I guess along with like what Baroness, I mean you make your Baroness 3700, pop a card, negate a card, standby phase, bounce her to the X deck, and then special summon a Stifler from your graveyard, and then this card would trigger and equip onto Stifler, and then you would be able to negate this thing and then have a 300 attack power monster, give or take. What's 7? Wait, no. 3,500 attack power monster. It's not horrible, but not great. I'm very mixed here. Synchro Dilemma. I'm feeling a dilemma here with how to feel about this archetype. Thank you, Konami, for this wonderful card here that has given me a very insightful reasoning onto my thing here. Thought process. There we go. You only use this card's first effect once per turn. During your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Send one Synchron monster from your hand or face of field to the graveyard. Spell summon a monster from your hand. Okay, cool. Target one other card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon a Synchro monster with a different original name than that card from your hand or graveyard. This is a continuous spell. So, the nice thing is that you can pop another card like your Z1 or your Necro Synchron or whatever you want to get destroyed, and then special summon another dude from your graveyard. This isn't horrible, and again, I feel like there's going to be... I kind of feel like that if this deck can find a way to capitalize on the whole destroy your own stuff thing, this could get very interesting and very... That's all I can really say is interesting, because I don't feel like this deck is good enough to really say that it's going to be like even good as a rogue deck or even a fun deck. But however, I like the idea with what they're doing here and the play style for it, and also I like what they have tried to do in terms of trying to really make this into something when they only had like less than a handful of cards to go off of. On that note, not all of Sherry's cards have been printed. As I saw from earlier when I searched Flare while I had it set to anime cards, there was at least a trap card that has not been revealed. So we're going to have to wait and see what Konami does in the future. On that note, I do want to talk about the another random card that got revealed for Dawn of Majesty, Synchro Overtake. Normal spell card, you can only activate one card of this card's name per turn. Reveal one Synchro monster in your extract and add to your hand, or special summon one of the Synchro materials whose name is specifically listed on that card from your deck or graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters from the extract to turn you activate this card except Synchro monsters. So this is basically like Fusion Conscription, but for Synchros. Let's see here. Yeah, Fusion Conscription does the same thing, but you reveal a fusion monster and add one of its materials from your deck to your hand, and it has even more restrictions. But this thing is pretty good overall, I would say, because, I mean, as it's showing in the card art, you're supposed to be searching out the Synchrons, but there are other things you can search out too. So, with that being said, I do feel like this card is pretty good. And if you're playing a Sherry deck, you're going to be playing Synchro Overtake because you want to get to that little Synchron dude. So that is everything I have to say about this, off of my first impressions. I might have more to say after playing the deck, but right now, I mean, like, these 3 cards, well, 4 cards here, I love. They're really good. These cards, I also really like. These first 3 are really good. The boss, I'm very iffy on. I'm kind of iffy on the equip spell too. I like its first effect in that it can special summon a dude from your graveyard. I like that. And then I'm not very big on what it does elsewise. And then Synchro Dilemma, I do like. It's just free special summons for the most part, and that's what this deck needs. So I think overall, this is a huge buff to the archetype and what it wants to do. But I don't feel like it's going to be enough to really even make this into a casual, fun deck that can actually really do anything against any other casual fun decks. I mean, just kind of going off of what I'm seeing here, I don't think this deck can handle cubics. But then again, I also need to sit down and play test it. So we'll have to wait and see, and also see what else Konami has that they have not revealed yet, if they haven't revealed everything. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys think about these cards in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and peace out. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.